wish I was there for her. I wish I was right down the street. I just wish she would have called. The love, but now I just want everybody to keep us in your prayers. Long live Winchie. I love you, baby girl.
We didn't see any signs, no signals. It wasn't like she was coming around us with black eyes or anything like that. So there was none of that. You, my child, a wholehearted, bubbly personality, and that's how I want to get her back. And he always assured me he would never do anything to hurt my child. This is not a joke. It's not something that we should take lightly. For those of you that are posting on Facebook and doing all that unnecessary stuff, I don't care what a person does to you. You don't have the right to take her life. You don't have the right to put your hands on nobody.
Slide in, I slide out. Yeah, hold up. You killed that hoe.
Ever been there? You're scrolling through TikTok. It's late, maybe you're a little lonely. And then you see them, the couples, bathed in that golden hour light, whispering those sweet nothings, promising forever in 15-second bursts. He spins her around, she gazes into his eyes. They're laughing, always laughing. It looks easy. We double tap. We leave a heart, maybe even a comment, #relationship goals. We dream of that connection, that fairy tale. But what if I told you the filter hid a nightmare? This isn't a ghost story. It isn't some campfire tale meant to scare you. This is real. It's a betrayal played out in plain sight. 3 couples, millions of viewers, and a chilling, heartbreaking truth. Couple goals can be a death sentence. Winter Straw. Jessica Edwards. Kiana and Ronald Burns. Remember their names. Their stories will unravel the deadly cost of toxic love. You saw the highlight reel. Now, prepare for the truth.
Do not call me handsome if you ain't gonna hand me some of that, but don't get down.
Winter Straw wasn't just a face on a screen. She was more than just fleeting images and trending sounds. She was a force of light, a bubbly spirit, a young woman with aspirations stretching far beyond the confines of social media. Those who knew her best spoke of a special radiance, a warmth that drew people in. Her mother recalled a young woman with big dreams, someone with a true passion, a calling to help others. That desire to make a difference led her down a specific path. Winter envisioned herself in a courtroom, advocating for those who needed a voice. She was planning to go to law school, a goal reflecting her commitment to justice. It was a demanding ambition, one that required dedication and perseverance. While working towards her legal aspirations, Winter's life took an unexpected turn. She became an influencer, a rising star on TikTok. The platform became a space where she shared parts of herself with the world. Her TikTok profile wasn't a carefully constructed persona, it was an extension of her vibrant personality. Dance videos showcased her energy, beauty tips revealed her flair, and snapshots offered glimpses into her daily life. Among these glimpses was her relationship with Renardo Johnson. Online, they painted a portrait of picture-perfect happiness. The clips showed a couple having fun, deeply in love. They participated in those trendy relationship questionnaires. Who said I love you first? Who is more protective? Who starts more arguments? These playful exchanges gave the impression of a strong, healthy bond. But like any carefully curated feed, it was a highlight reel, a facade. What the followers didn't see, what Winter's family didn't fully grasp, was the growing darkness lurking beneath the surface. But behind the filters, their love story was a battleground. What the online world saw was a carefully constructed image, a highlight reel of seemingly perfect moments. But those closest to Winter knew a different truth. Their relationship, from its start, was intense. It wasn't just passion, it was a constant cycle of conflict. Friends of Winter recalled a pattern. Amidst the cheerful posts and lighthearted videos, Winter would share cryptic messages. These weren't straightforward declarations, but subtle hints, veiled references to love and heartbreak. At the time, her friends didn't fully grasp the weight of these messages. They didn't understand the depth of what was happening behind the scenes. In front of the camera, Renardo Johnson presented himself as the ideal partner. He played the role of the devoted boyfriend with conviction. There was even an incident where he went online to confront other women, telling them to back off, that they were messing with his family. This possessive display might have seemed like a loving gesture to some, but it was just an act. Those who truly cared for Winter began to notice red flags, small things barely noticeable at first, but they were there. Renardo was possessive. He didn't like the attention Winter received online. As her TikTok following grew, so did his paranoia. He would check her phone, questioning her about messages and interactions. He used guilt to manipulate her, trying to control how much time she spent online. Winter kept this hidden from her family. They didn't see the controlling behavior, the jealousy, the escalating tension. To them, everything appeared fine. "We didn't see any signs, no signals," her family later said. "It wasn't like she was coming around us with black eyes or anything like that." This lack of visible signs made the eventual tragedy even more shocking. It felt like a betrayal, not just from Renardo, but from the deceptive facade they both presented the world. I know this was a heavy one, but these stories need to be told. If you're feeling it, give this video a thumbs up and share it to spread awareness. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join our true crime community. For those of you who've been here a while, you know I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. TikTok fans saw the cracks before those closest to Winter did. While her family and friends were largely unaware of the extent of the problems, a different perspective emerged online. Those who followed Winter and Renardo's relationship on TikTok began to notice a pattern, a disturbing dynamic that hinted at something deeply unhealthy. Viewers left comments expressing their concern. They saw red flags in the couple's interactions, moments that seemed off, controlling, or disrespectful. They urged Winter to leave the relationship, to prioritize her safety and well-being. Winter needs to leave him. The message appeared repeatedly in comment sections, a chorus of voices warning her of the danger they perceived, but their concerns were met with dismissal. Instead of heeding the warnings, Winter and Renardo chose to mock them. They created a TikTok video, seemingly making fun of the people who advised Winter to stay away from Renardo. In the video, they repeated the phrase, "I'm still alive," in a sarcastic tone. This response was more than just dismissive. It was a public declaration that they believed everything was fine. It was a way of shutting down the concern, of maintaining the facade they had carefully constructed. But behind the scenes, Renardo's behavior was escalating. His paranoia deepened, his accusations grew more intense. He saw threats where there were none, betrayal in every interaction. He scrutinized Winter's TikTok activity, interpreting her posts through a warped lens of jealousy and suspicion. He accused Winter of encouraging the men in her comment section by posting videos they could thirst over. He saw threats in her comments, betrayal in her likes. TikTok, her platform, her joy, became a weapon in his mind. Winter, of course, didn't see it that way. To her, TikTok wasn't a source of conflict, it was her job. It was how she made a living, how she put food on the table. She was simply doing what she needed to do. One night, the simmering tension exploded. The constant strain, the possessiveness, the paranoia, it all reached a breaking point. It was an ordinary night, perhaps in the 700 block of Ballet Hill Road. But inside, a conflict was about to erupt, a confrontation with devastating consequences. The catalyst, tragically, was another TikTok post. A seemingly innocuous video, but one that Renardo interpreted as a final act of defiance. Winter had posted a TikTok hinting at a breakup. It was a video that would be her last. Renardo, consumed by rage, confronted her. The argument quickly spiraled out of control. Voices were raised, accusations hurled. The intensity of the conflict was impossible to ignore. Neighbors reported hearing the sounds of the altercation. Screaming pierced the night, followed by crashing sounds. The once quiet street was filled with the sounds of violence. But then, silence. A chilling, heavy silence. When police arrived, they found a scene of devastation. Winterstraw was lifeless. Her life, full of promise and potential, extinguished in a matter of minutes. This wasn't a sudden impulse, an act of passion without thought. This was not a spur-of-the-moment thing. a voice later declared. The young man, it was premeditated, he thought about his actions and he kept carrying them out. Renardo had attempted to take his own life, but he survived. In his confession, he revealed the twisted logic that drove him to commit such a horrific act. He couldn't bear the thought of Winter leaving him. If he couldn't have her, he said, no one could. In his confession, Renardo revealed the chilling motive behind his actions. His words echoed with a chilling possessiveness, a warped sense of ownership. If I can't have her, he declared, no one could. It was a statement that laid bare the twisted logic that fueled his violence, the belief that he had the right to control Winter's life, even if it meant taking it away. The aftermath of Winter's murder was devastating. Her mother was shattered, the pain of her loss compounded by a profound sense of betrayal. She had welcomed Renardo into her home, trusted him with her daughter's safety. He had looked her in the eye, made promises. This man looked me in my eyes all the time, she recalled, and whenever I would talk to him, I'd say, I'm giving you, my child, a wholehearted, bubbly personality, and that's how I want to get her back. He had assured her that he would never do anything to harm Winter. He always assured me he would never do anything to hurt my child, she said. Those assurances now rang hollow, a cruel reminder of the deception that had masked Renardo's true nature. Winter's death left her family with a new purpose. They were determined to turn their grief into action, to raise awareness about the pervasive and often hidden dangers of domestic violence. We want to make it clear, real clear, domestic violence is not a joke, they declared. Her death was a stark reminder of the insidious nature of abuse, how it can hide behind a facade of love and affection. Instead, she came home in a body bag, her family lamented. The reality a brutal contrast to the dreams and aspirations Winter once held. The loss was particularly painful because of the close-knit nature of Winter's family. They struggled with the question of how they could have missed the signs, how they could have been unaware of the suffering she endured. Winter's death hit her family hard. It was said, they were a close-knit family who couldn't understand how they could have missed that she was suffering and needed their help. Her sibling expressed deep regret, a longing to have been there for her in her time of need. I'm the baby of my family, her sibling shared, and so she was my little sister, and so it just hurt me so bad, cuz I wish I was there for her. I wish I was right down the street. I just wish she would have see. Winter's death served as a tragic reminder of how toxic love can be deadly. Her family resolved to ensure that her death would not be in vain, that it would serve as a catalyst for change. Her death was yet another reminder of how toxic love can be deadly, and her family was determined to make sure it wasn't in vain. It's not something that we should take lightly for those of you that are posting on Facebook and doing all that unnecessary stuff. I don't care what a person does to you, you don't have the right to take her life, you don't have the right to put your hands on nobody. Jessica Edwards was a woman of substance, a life brimming with purpose. Those who knew her described her as someone who lit up a room. If you knew her, you loved her. If you didn't, you probably wished you did. She had a special quality, an ability to connect with people and leave a lasting impression. Jessica wasn't just charismatic, she was driven. She graduated from East Hartford High School in 2009. But that wasn't the end of her academic journey, it was just the beginning. She went on to Eastern Connecticut State University, where she earned her bachelor's degree in English. Her pursuit of knowledge didn't stop there. Jessica had a heart for helping people. This desire to make a difference in the lives of others led her to Simmons College in Boston, where she obtained her master's degree in social work. But even with her impressive academic achievements, Jessica felt a pull towards a different field. She wanted to work in healthcare. So she went back to school yet again, enrolling at Manchester Community College to get a degree in respiratory care. She was literally days away from graduating. The culmination of her hard work, her dedication, her unwavering commitment to improving herself and serving others was within reach. But she never got to walk across that stage. Somewhere along the way, Jessica met Taj Hutchinson. He was younger than her, 8 years her junior. At the time of her death, he was just 22 years old. It's unclear exactly how they met, but their relationship progressed, and they got married. They had a baby and started life together. Now, to the outside world, they looked like your average young couple, balancing work, school, and parenthood. The picture they presented was one of a typical family, navigating the challenges and joys of life together. But behind closed doors, it was a different story. Just like Winter Straw's relationship, The outward appearance of Jessica and Taj's life together masked a troubled reality. Then, on May 10, 2021, Jessica vanished. Her disappearance triggered a frantic search. Friends and family were desperate, clinging to hope, praying for her safe return. Her husband Taj went on social media. He played the role of the worried husband, posting emotional messages filled with dramatic declarations of love and longing. "It's another lonely and worrisome night without you, my love," he wrote. "Son, and I miss you so much. I don't have an appetite to eat or sleep knowing that you aren't here with me." He portrayed himself as heartbroken, lost without her. "Every time I came home, you were always there taking care of our beautiful son that we created," he posted. "Whenever I was down, you always lifted me up. I've never even been so many days without you. My heart is broken right now, shattered, and my emotions all mixed up. Please, 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 wherever you are, come back safely." He wanted people to believe that Jessica had simply walked away, that she had abandoned her baby, her family, her entire life. "I love you and need you so much, and our son worries about you too. I feel like he barely wants to eat. Please, I love you so much," he wrote. But her family, they weren't buying it. Something wasn't right. They knew Jessica. They knew her dedication to her son, her dreams, her loved ones. The idea that she would willingly leave it all behind didn't align with the woman they knew and cherished. While Jessica's loved ones desperately searched, Taj played the grieving husband. His performance was elaborate, calculated to deceive anyone who might suspect the truth. He used social media as his stage, crafting a persona of a man consumed by sorrow and longing. His posts were filled with dramatic pronouncements, designed to evoke sympathy and deflect suspicion. "It's another lonely and worrisome night without you, my love," he lamented, painting a picture of sleepless nights and endless worry. "Son, and I miss you so much. I don't have an appetite to eat or sleep knowing that you aren't here with me." He portrayed himself as a devoted partner, lost without Jessica's presence. "Every time I came home, you were always there taking care of our beautiful son that we created," he wrote, emphasizing her role as a loving mother. "Whenever I was down, you always lifted me up. I've never even been so many days without you. My heart is broken right now, shattered, and my emotions all mixed up. Please, 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 wherever you are, come back safely." He wanted everyone to believe that Jessica had willingly abandoned her family, that she had simply walked away from her life, leaving behind her baby, her loved ones, and her dreams. "I love you and need you so much, and our son worries about you too. I feel like he barely wants to eat. Please, I love you so much," he pleaded, attempting to manipulate emotions and solidify his false narrative. But Jessica's family wasn't convinced. They knew her too well. They recognized the inconsistencies in Taj's story, the subtle details that didn't quite add up. Something wasn't right. Their instincts told them that Taji's grief was a performance, a carefully constructed charade designed to hide a much darker truth. The truth emerged in horrifying detail. New documents revealed the events leading up to Jessica Edwards' death, painting a starkly different picture than the one Taj Hutchinson had presented to the world. The catalyst for the tragedy was a seemingly trivial incident. The night before Mother's Day, Taj had bought Jessica a gift, a pair of guinea pigs. Instead of being pleased, Jessica was angry. The arrest warrant detailed the argument. It stated that the day before Mother's Day, Hutchinson bought Edwards guinea pigs as a gift, and she was upset about it. On Mother's Day, their argument led to a physical confrontation. It's unclear if she was upset because she disliked guinea pigs, but the specifics of the disagreement were less important than how it escalated. By the next morning, the fight had turned physical. According to police, Taj pushed Jessica, causing her ear to bleed. The arguing continued into Monday morning. During this time, Jessica defended herself. She hit Taj in the head with a laptop and grabbed a kitchen knife. But Taj was bigger and stronger. He pinned her to the ground, kneeling on her neck and back, in a chilling echo of what happened to George Floyd. Jessica struggled. She tried to breathe, and then she stopped moving. Eventually, she died. Taj left her there, lying on the floor for hours. Their 7-month-old baby was in the house. Then, he wrapped her body in a blanket, put her in the trunk of his Jeep, and drove her to a remote, wooded area in East Hartford. There, he dumped her body like trash. While everyone was searching for Jessica, crying, posting her face all over social media, Taj was acting like nothing happened. Even when Jessica's sister showed up at his house, demanding answers, he played dumb. She demanded that he open the trunk. Hutchinson sped off. She also told police she found divorce papers filled out by Edwards but never filed. Inside the trunk was a body wrapped up. She screamed at him to open the trunk, but Taj panicked. He sped off before she could do anything. In the documents, he went on to say he drove to a random GPS location and dragged the body to a wooded area. This is where Edwards was eventually found on Friday, on Driver Road in East Hartford. That's when police really started looking at him. Taj's lies crumbled under the weight of the evidence. His initial claim that Jessica had left with friends was met with skepticism. Taj's story kept changing, it was noted. First, he said Jessica had left with friends. Then, he said she got aggressive, and he was just defending himself. Police doubted his story. They searched areas in South Windsor, Manchester, and East Hartford. Finally, they found her body in a wooded East Hartford area on May 21st. Hutchinson was arrested that evening. Jessica's body was found 11 days after she was reported missing, and Taj was arrested. He was initially charged with manslaughter. But the truth was clear, he murdered his wife. After months of investigation, his charge was upgraded to murder. He later confessed to having a physical altercation that led to Edwards' death. Now, after months of investigation, it was stated the initial charge of manslaughter has been upgraded to murder. Jessica's mother was heartbroken. No one should have to go through something like this, she said. Nobody should. And let's not forget Jessica and Taj's child. That day, the child lost both parents. One to murder, the other to prison. So I was happy, someone declared. I was elated. Finally, we feel like something has been done. Something has been done. I think that should have been the charge from the beginning. So I believe they gathered enough evidence just to make sure that their case was going to be solid. In November 2024, Taj stood before a judge and received his sentence, 27 years in prison. For some, it was justice. For others, it wasn't nearly enough. Because the truth is, Jessica should still be here. She should be raising her son, building her career, living her life. Instead, she's another name on the long list of women lost to domestic violence. Winter Straw, Jessica Edwards, their lives, like Kiana and Ronald Burns, serve as a chilling reminder behind the filters, behind the smiles, toxicity can thrive, and love can turn deadly.